my most recent spiritual awakening, and I became very interested in anything spiritual, anything paranormal. I started reading a lot about different matters, and I started meditating daily. So it really became a part of my first personal path, and eventually began integrating into my professional path. So I discovered hypnosis, which I found fascinating. First, I was trained in clinical hypnosis, then I found more spiritual outlets like past life regression and QHHT. And as I developed my intuition, I also started going to the Monroe Institute and eventually started practicing professionally different types of energy healing and doing readings. So spirituality integrated more and more into my life and eventually into my work. And then about 5 years ago, I took a channeling class. It was a very long course. It was several months, and it was during the COVID shutdowns. So I really had the opportunity to completely invest my time and energy into this practice. And like I said, I was already doing psychic reading, so it was not completely foreign to me, but channeling really was taking everything a step further. Even within my belief and my paradigm, if you asked me 10 years ago if I was a channel, if I wanted to be a channel, I would probably say, well, it sounds interesting, but I don't even know if it's real. I wasn't really sold on the whole thing. But as I said, 5 years ago, I took this class, and I really made it my path. I took it very seriously. I did all the exercises that we were given, breath work, I'm talking daily, breath work and body work and different meditations and the actual practice of the channeling. So I took it very, very seriously in a playful and fun and light way, but very committedly, and I never stopped. So the training was many months long, and when it ended, I just continued. It just became a part of me. And at first I was channeling for other trainees, or even channeling other class members, and then it was to family and friends, and eventually it was to the public. So it's been kind of a gradual growth and immersion in the world of channeling.
Well, that's incredible. And it seems like you channel an entity named Hathor. And I'm looking, it looks like your book right there to your right. Yes. Can you tell us who Hathor is?
Yeah, so Hathor, we know the Hathor from ancient Egypt. So if we just talk about the name, we know about it as an Egyptian goddess. But as I was, which by the way, I never knew the name, I never heard of before. I was never much into mythology before I started channeling, so it just didn't mean anything to me. It was just kind of a strange name that, if anything, sounded kind of masculine and warrior-like, Hathor. So
No.
That's what I thought when I first got the name. But the people I was with had more knowledge than me, so they had more appropriate questions, because I wouldn't know what to ask. Fortunately for me, I was the vehicle at that point. But she explained, she/them, we can get into that, essentially explained that they are the divine feminine, foremost. That's how they conceive and perceive themselves, the divine feminine. So not just one goddess, not just one being. Although in ancient Egypt, and even now, again, they're walking the earth as physical beings. So again, we can get into that. But there's first the divine feminine, then there's a Sirius star system connection. So it was brought to my attention that they're from Sirius. And it was also brought to my attention that as that goddess, as that divine feminine, they have been given many names by different cultures, different peoples, different times. Different people given different names, but it's similar or related essence of that divine feminine that is interacting not only through me as a channel, but with humanity and the planet, especially in times of growth and accelerated changes like the one we are at currently.
Are you talking about Sirius B, where the Dogon tribe actually knew about Sirius B, and you can't even see it with the naked eye? You can't see it. You know, they didn't have any kind of means to actually see it, but they knew about it.
That's right. That's right. They say that their physical evolution was on a planet in the Sirius B, specifically star system, and that they were water dwelling. So very different than what we think about.
Yeah, the Yoruba are specifically about the water dwelling, more of their origin. But it's funny that you talk about the feminine and the divine energy, because I know Hathor, like you said, sounds like a masculine name, but you know, Amma, the Dogon's god, is male and female. Mm-hmm. And you know, Oet and Osan, the other goddesses of love and divine energy, the African goddesses, they actually, because you know, it's really a Nubian. It's really, you know, even more so than Egyptian, and you got pre-African that dates it, and so you've got feminine energy in the Dogon tribe. Amma is male and female, and the Zulu. It's funny the way they found their masculine or femininity is the Chitori came down, and they had two caves, a green light and a red light, and if you went through the green light, you became a female. If you went through the red light in the caves, you became a male. This is part of their myth. But they always deal with this duality of, you know, and the Africans feel that the feminine energy is the strongest energy. They start with the mother first. Like even Shaka Zulu, his mother planned all of their missions. People don't know that all his military missions, she planned all of them. And his aunties, when he stepped out of line, his aunties killed him. So, but anyway, what you're talking about, the feminine energy and going back to Egypt and Africa, it's like really, really huge.
Yes, even in ancient Egypt. So, like I said, there were many gods and goddesses. There was Isis and Osiris, and there were many of them. But specifically Hathor, first of all, she predated them historically. So when you look at the records, but also even in their mythology, she was the mother to all the other gods. She nursed the other gods. She gave up her milk. That's why we see her as a depiction of a cow or associated with a cow.
Yeah, the cow. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's all about the mother.
You know, they got the, it's according to Africans, they, at the temple of Hathor, this is how powerful she is, they said that they got the 137 negatives, which in that time, an Egyptian would have woken up every day and said, did I hurt my neighbor? Did I steal from my neighbor? You should be able to answer no to those questions. So they had 137 that they would ask themselves. Moses himself, as African, but they got that at the temple of Hathor. But a lot of people don't know that. You know, they don't. Hathor played, like you said, music, health, guidance. You know, all the things that she was responsible for, and the cow being the symbol of fertility. Her and the cow, you know, came before everybody, like you said.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know if you've been to the Hathor temple, but it's really, really beautiful. It's very awe-inspiring. I know when you hear about Egypt, when you hear about Egypt, you hear about the pyramids, you hear about different temples, but you don't really hear about the Hathor temple very much. And let me tell you, when I was there, it was one of the locations that left the biggest impact on me. Just the grandeur of everything. You know, there are these huge posts. They're huge. And they go so high. And the art is everywhere. So everything is so masterful. There are carvings and colors all over the walls, all over those columns, on the ceiling. You look at the ceiling and who knows how many feet up, right? Huge. And it's all covered with art, and still the color is very well preserved, specifically in the Hathor temple. So it's really just awe-inspiring.
And weren't there a lot of people, like thousands of people, that were living in there?
I don't know about that.
I know. Tell us more about the Hathor temple. That's beautiful. It sounds beautiful. Could you tell us more about the inside?
Yeah, like I said, so there are carvings everywhere, and it's language. It's like art and language together. It's all hieroglyphs, and there are different stories depicting different mythologies, And what's unique about the Hathor temple, first of all, it's a whole complex of temples, Dendera. So it's not just one temple.
Okay.
So it's huge. And so there are stories of creation. There are all these mythological stories embedded in the walls and the ceiling. And what's unique is how well the color is preserved. So you have all these beautiful turquoise, it's all just beautiful.
Wow.
And yeah, and when I was walking in the temple, in Egypt in general, when you want to enter anywhere that's restricted, if you want any special treatment, money is a language. You tip. That's the way it works there. But I was a part of my group, and me and my husband were like walking around the temple, just looking around, being amazed. And then we got to the end of the temple, and there's a security guard, and we were about to turn around and leave. And all of a sudden, he shows us that there's like a pathway to go downstairs into like a hidden room. So we're again expecting him to block us or ask for money or really block us. That was my way of thinking. Mm-hmm. And he just tells us to go in. And there's like no one around. It's almost like we entered a portal, right? Those places are so busy with so many people and tourists. And my husband and I walk downstairs, and we're alone in this enclosure, in this room with all this art on it. And I just look around, and I'm just in awe. How is it possible that no one else is here? I'm like, all right, let's do some experiments. I'm like, so just first take, just with my phone. So I told my husband, first take a regular video. So we took a few seconds, maybe a minute of a video. I'm like, now I'm going to call the spirits, take another video. So I do my thing, I call the spirit, and he takes the video, and there are orbs shooting everywhere.
Uh-oh.
And there's nobody else there, just us. So we had the before and after.
Oh, wow. Oh, no.
It was really cool.
And Dr. Yafi, also too, if I remember right, wasn't it something like March 2023, they actually uncovered a limestone sphinx at the Temple of Hathor.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I remember something on the news about that.
That's a good story. I think I heard, but that's cutting edge right there, man.
Oh yeah. Oh, Dr. Yafi. Okay. I don't know. Stacy, Paranormal Soul Brother, still might have some questions about the Temple of Hathor before we move on.
Yeah.
Did you want to say something, Stacy? You look like
Go for it, Stacy. Go for it, Stacy. I got one for it. Go for it. I've been hogging the mic. Go ahead.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. Well, sorry about the whole Zoom thing. This is a new camera, so I'm trying to figure out what's going on with it, and it just automatically zoomed on me, so I apologize for that. Well, nothing about the temple, because that just sounds beautiful, and I'd love to be able to see that. So you're very lucky that you got to go down there. Did they ever say
I'm taking a group January, so I'm actually going back there, and I'm bringing my own group, and we have such an amazing